Thanks for joining us for another edition of National Focus. I'm Tasia Floissac. In the headlines, Prime Minister Skerrit on an official visit to Martinique, Dominica assessing hot pepper sauce value chain, and the Kalinago territory making strides to enhance agricultural development. Stay tuned for the details of these and other stories coming up after the break.
The black Sikatuka fungus can survive on banana and plantain leaves even after they have been cut from the tree. Farmers and hucksters are encouraged to use alternate cushioning material when moving produce from farm to the market. Do not use banana and plantain leaves as cushioning. It is against the law to move banana and plantain trash from the field. Obey the law and stop the spread of black Sikatuka today.
The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is heading a high-level government delegation on an official visit to Martinique to meet with Martinique's Regional Council President, Sergi Lachimi. The meeting will focus on cooperation in the fields of energy, security, health, agriculture, education, and culture. This official visit occurs in the context of the regional program on sustainable development and energy transition. Minister of Lands, Housing, Settlements and Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austrie, Minister of Public Works, Energy and Ports, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, and Secretary to the Cabinet, Ambassador Steve Farrell, are also part of Dominica's delegation. Prime Minister Skerrit will address Martinique's Regional Assembly about cooperation projects in renewable energy and geothermal development between Martinique and Dominica. The Dominica leader will also discuss the matter of final integration of Martinique into the Caribbean States Association. The Honorable Minister for Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment, Ambrose George, will act as Prime Minister while Prime Minister Skerrit is out of state. Farmers of the Kalinago territory met in a special forum last Friday to discuss the way forward for enhancing agricultural development in that part of the country. For some time now, farmers operating in the territory have had concerns regarding farm inputs and access to credit. The Division of Agriculture, through recent interventions, has been on a drive to increase agricultural productivity across the country. The forum allowed for open dialogue by farmers with extension staff from the Division of Agriculture. Parliamentary representative for the Salibe constituency, Honorable Ashton Grano, welcomed the forum. He used the opportunity to encourage youth involvement in agriculture as a means of sustaining the sector.
Not many youth want to go into the field of agriculture. Now we have to change that, youth people. Young people, we have to change that. Because if your parents, when they were young, did it and sent you to school and educated you and paid their light bills and paid their medical fees and so on, you can do it now. So, but I know what the cry is. The cry is we need support. And that's why we're here. That's why we need support. So we need to replace the older generation in agriculture with a cadre of young people determined to produce.
Kalinago Chief Ghana Joseph also commended the Division of Agriculture for consulting with farmers. He expressed optimism that it would bring tangible results for farmers.
I hope that this forum will present us with the opportunity to be able to present some of the issues that we're confronted with. But not just to present a shopping list, also to be able to think it through that will allow us to get the maximum benefit of everything that we would want to put on paper.
GIS National Focus will bring you more from this agricultural forum in a subsequent newscast. In more news, the Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs Roosevelt Skerrit has thanked the government of New Zealand for sponsoring a major geothermal workshop taking place in Dominica. New Zealand's first High Commissioner to Dominica, Her Excellency Jan Henderson, paid her initial courtesy call on Prime Minister Skerrit at his office last Friday. During the exchange of salutations, Prime Minister Skerrit thanked Her Excellency for her government sponsorship of a workshop on geothermal currently underway in Dominica, and further stated that Dominica stood to learn a tremendous amount from New Zealand in terms of its development of electricity generated from geothermal. Commissioner Henderson, in her reply, stated that New Zealand was delighted to partner with Dominica on the workshop initiative. She said New Zealand's 60-year experience of developing geothermal is a point of surety for the Caribbean. The Driving Geothermal Development, How to Realize Geothermal Potential workshop was held at the Fort Young Hotel in Roseau from March 27 to 28, 2014. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Helen Royer, has voiced her support for government's National Employment Program. 27 interns are now working in various departments within the Ministry of Health. Royer, who addressed Monday's internship forum at the Dominica State College Auditorium, explained that the interns have assisted in improving the operations of the health ministry.
We got optometrists. We never had an optometrist from our end in Dominica. We have one Cuban technician and we have our own consultant. But these are positions you wanted. These young ladies have been coming all the time. And I don't forget. I remember names. I take my own note. And I could actually put in their names. We have also a dental hygienist. We have never had a dental hygienist in Dominica. So you can understand what it is. And we have instead of one biomedical technician, we have gotten two. I mean, and I looked at it, I had just recently written asking for new environmental positions because of our port health. You realize with all the chikungunya and stuff that are happening, we need to put things in place. And then Cabinet said that we couldn't get no positions. So I said, PS, you must give me 2 other environmental health officers, and they're here.
General Manager of the Aid Bank, Julius Cobbett, is very proud of the achievements of the interns who are currently attached to the institution. He also encouraged participating employers in the private and public sectors to allow the interns to feel part of the operations of the respective business or departments.
I boast in the people I have with me, and the interns form part of that group. And we treat the interns as part of the family. When we have a little birthday parties, they're children too. They get their birthday gift like everybody else. They are part of us. And I'm saying to employers, though, please understand that when you bring these young people here, nurture them, work with them, counsel them. I had the opportunity to talk about 2 interns in my office. I said, listen, this is where I want you to be here, I want you to do this, and how you did, how's the job? Any suggestions? Make them part of it. Because what you did is you got talent for free. You got good people, extraordinary talent for free. So use it.
Minister for Employment, Trade, Industry and Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, who also addressed Monday's internship program, explained the next phase of the National Employment Program.
One of the days when one member of the family, mother or father, could work and pay everything. Right now, both mother and father, we have to work. So that can leave sometimes our students at home unattended to. So we want after school, we establish these after school classes where we can train our young people in terms of homework assistance, the computer assistance, ICT, and really take them to that level. So this is the next program we're about to launch together with the community programs. The community programs are wide range in terms of beautification, road repairs in terms, when I say road repairs, I'm talking about just, sand and cement type mixing. I'm talking about the scientific aspect of it, engaging our young people in a skilled manner, teaching them what to do.
Addressing unemployment has been a major area of focus by the Roosevelt Skerrit-led administration.
We have placed monies at the Aid Bank for farmers at 2% and at 0% interest rates in an effort to create employment. We have gone out and negotiated, in this case, the government of Morocco for the construction of a hotel, 68 rooms in Portsmouth. This will create sustainable jobs in the economy. construction jobs, but also sustainable jobs in the economy. Through the use of the Petrocurb funds, we've placed monies at the National Development Foundation of Dominica at a reduced interest rates. I went to the European Investment Bank and the Bandes Development Bank in Venezuela to negotiate for better financing for the aid bank in order to reduce on the interest rates from the high of 11 and 12% to an average of 6 and 6.5%. So that more Dominicans could have access to cheaper financing and make investment in Dominica more affordable, and thereby creating employment in Dominica.
In other news, government's current focus on geothermal energy development is in the best interest of nationals. That's according to Energy Minister Honorable Rayburn Blackmore. Honorable Blackmore was addressing a press conference last Friday, which marked the close of a 2-day Caribbean geothermal workshop, which was held at the Fort Young Hotel.
We are given the commitment as a government and as a people to, in the first instance, to build a small plant to the magnitude of 15 megawatts. And the methodology that we're going to use is to have it done by modules, starting with about 7 megawatts in the first instance. The intention is to bring about a reduction in the price of energy or the cost of energy to the ultimate consumer. You know, we pay $1.17 per kilowatt hour, and that puts us among the highest insofar as tariff is concerned in the region. And that is a tremendous drag to any economy, more so a small emerging economy like Dominica. And this workshop, of course, gave the participants a better understanding of some of the processes involved in developing a project of that magnitude. And of course, there are a number of technical issues to be understood. And of course, that workshop in itself gave the participant that kind of sense and understanding.
The Ministry of Education is on a drive to ensure that the learning of French language takes place at the island's schools. Minister for Education Honorable Peter St. Jean says much has been achieved through this effort, and he is pleased with the efforts made by the island's French teachers.
We attach a lot of importance to the teaching of French. I note with satisfaction that this year there is an increased number of schools and students participating in this activity. This, to my mind, is in keeping with the request of the OIF, Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie.
The Dominica Bureau of Standards has joined forces with regional and international organizations in an effort to increase productivity and export capacity of selected value chains, in particular, Dominica's hot pepper sauce value chain. This initiative taken in the agricultural sector was announced at an opening ceremony on Friday, where Dominica, along with 4 other Caribbean countries, are implementing a regional quality infrastructure project using what is called the Calidena methodology. The Calidena method is oriented towards the identification and promotion of specific actions to foster quality services for value chains and facilitate an increase in competitiveness. Chairman of the National Standards Council, Colin Bully, voiced that competitiveness is critical for development of Dominica's productive sector and longevity of Dominica's products.
Whilst we may assume that we have the raw material and we have the skills and we have the capacity, some limited capacity, I would say, to produce, that there were essential things that were needed that would anchor this competitiveness that we required to undertake. And that anchor had to do with the question of standards. That we had to develop standards that would allow us to certify our product, certify the processes that we needed to go through, and to see how and what was required. It had to develop capacity to do this. This was lacking in these institutions that I referred to. We had to develop the capacity to develop the legal framework, to find out what the issues were, and to develop the legal framework that would allow the standards to exist and to be enforced.
Bully expressed faith in the abilities of the Bureau of Standards to successfully introduce this new method.
The Bureau itself has earned not only on the domestic market, but the leadership it has taken on the regional market and its active participation in international fora. And it's with that confidence, I think, we can bravely move forward with this workshop and make the contribution that we need as a country in anchoring this process, this Kalidena process, and introducing it to our region.
This pilot project is being coordinated by the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, CROSQ, in collaboration with the International Cooperation Department of the German Metrology Institute, PTB. In order to achieve this set goal, Dominica must comply with certain quality criteria that are required by markets, destinations, and end clients, as well as with technical regulation and private standards. Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Employment, Trade, Industry and Diaspora Affairs, Karin Prevot, noted the initiative as a timely intervention.
Hot sauce has remained one of Dominica's leading agro products and has huge potential for further dominance in the market. This intervention by the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, CROSQ, in collaboration with the PTB, through their host, the Dominica Bureau of Standards, cannot be more timely, as the government has been focusing on value-added products as a means of diversifying within the agricultural sector.
Prevot says that this initiative is in keeping with government's national export strategy for expansion and development of hot sauce and other products. This strategy will be discussed and developed over the next 2 days with various representatives of partnering organizations and stakeholders. GIS News will bring you more from the Kalidena Methodology Workshop in a subsequent newscast. And finally, this news time, during the media launch of Dominica's Jazz and Creole Festival last Monday, Discover Dominica Authority DDA CEO and Tourism Director Colin Piper announced that the festival will include a dynamic private sector aspect called the Jazz and Creole Fringe. This year, the Jazz and Creole Fringe continues with the Evergreen Hotel on June 4th, Anchorage Hotel and Dive Center on June 5th, the Fortune Hotel on June 6th, and the Riverstone Bar and Grill on June 7th, highlighting local and regional acts. Due to growing interest from local businesses, Piper also indicated that pre-fringe activities may begin as early as June 1st. Another element of the festival is a hike and jazz activity presented by the Dominica Hotels and Tourism Association. The event commences on June 1st and will provide hikers, both visiting and local, the opportunity to hike in the day and enjoy the jazz activities at night. According to Piper, since its inception, the festival has attracted the interest of both local and regional audiences, with growing attendance each year, passing 1,500 individuals in 2013. The Jazz and Creole event has assisted greatly in promoting the island's tourism package, and this year will also have a yachting sector because of the appeal of docking in Prince Rupert's Bay close to the Fort Shirley Avenue. This, Piper says, will provide increased promotion for the private sector and hoteliers who include these activities in their packages that could be promoted at various activities. Discover Dominica Authority announced that this year children under the age of 12 will enter 3 with hope to develop an understanding and appreciation for the jazz and Creole music and culture. Those between the ages of 12 and 18 will pay $25, whilst adults' tickets will be sold at $75. Alias Floissac de la Dominique and the Dominica Festivals Commission will come on board with other sponsors who have supported the event in previous years. And that's all for the English segment of National Focus. McPherson St. Luce is up next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, c'est chef de délégation gouvernement qui a signé en visite officielle pour la Martinique. Délégation là, tu as expecté pour joindre et puis président conseil régional, c'est le Chemi. Meeting ça là qui a discuté énergie, sécurité, santé, agriculture, éducation et puis culture. Visite ça là qui a aussi pris en considération programme de développement sustainable et puis énergie. Ministère Management de l'eau, Honorable Reginald Ostream, Ministère Énergie, Honorable Ribbon Blackmore et Secrétaire Cabinet Steve Ferrol, qui a aussi formé par délégation là. Premier ministre Skerritt qui discute coopération projet énergie renouvelable et puis développement géothermique entre Dominique et puis Martinique. Ça a fait pour Martinique venir membre association Caraïbe qui a aussi discuté. Ministère Telecoms, Honorable Ambrose George, qui a une position comme premier ministre. À la nouvelle, officier ministre de l'Agriculture joint et puis Pep Kalinago pour développer un plan agriculture. Parole ça là sorti au directeur agriculture Ricky Brumant.
Ça nous a fait, c'est développer un plan pour pays Caraïbes. Nous tout à Dominique savent comme que pays Caraïbes ni bitin qui unique pour eux. C'est pas tout pays là qui a les mêmes problèmes que pays Caraïbes ni. So nous aller là pour Tchébélame avec ministère des Affaires Caraïbes avec Conseil Caraïbes pour développer un plan agricole pour placer différents aspects. Nous avons parlé contre Dawe, nous avons parlé contre les animaux, nous avons parlé contre ça y a fait avec Panyeyo, c'est bien ça. Nous avons parlé avec les jeunes pour développer une manière pour faire la vie plus meilleure, plus aisée. Nous avons servi le secteur agricole pour faire ça.
Ça a fait un parmi d'autres pour Kalinago, tu as plus pouvoir aussi recevoir attention.
Ça, c'est un de ces problèmes-là qui est un pays Caraïbes, mais pour nous, depuis où nous sommes concernés, où ça a une opportunité pour travailler avec ça. Ce n'est pas tête tout seul. Il y a autant qui a concerné nous. Ça nous a fait, c'est travailler à laisser ça, développer un plan, une stratégie pour faire certain nous ça fait la vie au primaire.
En d'autres nouvelles, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt a remercié le gouvernement New Zealand pour conduire un grand workshop géothermique qui prend place en Dominique. Ambassadeur New Zealand pour Dominique, Excellence John Henderson, tient une discussion et puis Premier ministre Skerritt en l'office le vendredi qui passait. Pendant que Premier ministre Skerritt joint et puis Ambassadeur Henderson, et remercie le gouvernement New Zealand pour sponsor workshop là, et puis aussi fait parole que Dominique en chimie apprend en l'eau New Zealand qui concerne génération électricité géothermique. Ambassadeur Henderson fait parole que New Zealand était bien plaisir pour sponsor workshop géothermique là. Finalement, semaine qui officier sécurité sociale au pays Caraïbes conduit en Dominique, mettez attention à ces bagailles où ça fait qui concerne santé travailleur. Parole ça là sorti au député sécurité sociale Dominique, M. Augustus Etienne.
Ça semaine qu'a fait c'est pour voir qui nécessaire pour faire pour ba monde pour ba pays là. Peuple ces pays là qui a participé là ba yo accès pour ça trouver santé là yo besoin de santé avec service santé avec parce santé qui coûte l'argent il y a certaines nations qui la social security n'ont pas pour proviger l'argent pour monde ça taper accès pour santé mais aussi il y a certains pays qui ont national health insurance programme en place comme ça monde qui paye l'argent pendant yo travail là yo a besoin taper traitement insurance la payer pour ça. C'est pour nous discuter ouais ça monde déjà fait qui ça nous répond autre monde qui déjà des chantiers chemin ça là pour faire certain que nous même comme pays avec d'autres pays qui pas encore là qui exemple nous ça pour associer pays là qui déjà fait ça pour nous ça faire certain que peuple nous connaît accès ça là pour santé.
Messieurs mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle créole pour à présent. Non moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, find out if sweating out the flu really works.
Dominica is blessed with an abundance of water, but getting it to your home is an expensive venture. You have a responsibility to conserve water, to use it wisely. Remember the old adage, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. Think water, think life.
Usually, when some people have the flu, they're willing to try almost anything to get rid of the aches and pains and stuffy nose. Some people try having a hot bath or wrapping up in lots of sheets, but it won't make a difference to your recovery time. You won't get rid of a cold by sweating it out. Doctors have determined that most times our bodies naturally develop a high temperature in order to get rid of an illness, but forcing it to heat up won't help. Sometimes you may even feel worse because your body becomes dehydrated. Doctors recommend that instead of forcing your bodies to heat up, drink a lot of water and have a lot of rest. That's the best way to beat the common flu. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Tasia Floissac. Thanks for watching.